Now, Steven, relax, buddy. Anybody could have made that mistake. They were all wearing bright effing orange! This is gonna be a long one, isn't it? Okay, I'm just gonna play the intro. No, I got you, buddy. I made a new one just for this video. Oh, okay, play it. This team is ruining my life! This team is ruining my life! This team is ruining my life! LFR11 with Steve Dangle. Ah! How was that? You like that? You like the new intro you keep asking for? You like that? Was it fun? Way to go, everybody! Be careful what you wish for! I know I've done some already, but I watched that game and now I have to scream about it. And I will continue to scream about it, but I have something to say first, and just let me get through that, and then I'll talk about the game. Okay, whew. I'm going to Philadelphia. To do what, Steve? Defend? No, we already have plenty of people who don't know how to do that. I'm gonna be casting. I did this because I thought I'd have like one of those Britney Spears mics. There is an LFR11 tournament for the Ed Snyder Youth Hockey Foundation. Ed Snyder, of course, the former owner of the Philadelphia Flyers. The LFR11 tournament is free to enter, and there is a prize pool of $17,500. It's available to Canadian and U.S. residents 14+. The tournament begins with online qualifiers, and the top players advance to the online playoffs, and 2 finalists from each console will be flown to Philadelphia, and you will compete in the finals live at Xfinity Live Philadelphia, and that is right before the Flyers-Penguins game on March 7th. You know how much those two teams love each other. Registration is now open. If you're interested, click the link down below. And hey, I'll be casting your game. We'll probably get to meet each other, and I'll probably be in a better mood by then because the Leafs will have tied their heads on properly. Screwed their heads on properly. However you put a head on. Now for the game. For those of you who watched on Sportsnet, you probably saw that I had a video in the game right before the game, which started at like 1 in the morning, I think. Was it 1 in the morning? Talking about my internal battle with pressing the panic button. Now I was struggling. Then there was that Lindros ceremony, which I will get to later because I feel like yelling at the moment. And the game begins. I don't think the Leafs are either awe in this one. They're not awful or awesome. They're just kind of there. Considering how their first periods have gone lately, I'll take it. But you know what? It seemed like a bit of a track meet, didn't it? Both teams flying to either end of the ice. The offense is spelled with a capital O and the defense is with a lowercase d. Only problem is the goaltending was in all caps. And we head to the second period scoreless. And it's a good game again. Still a bit of a track meet. The Leafs look alright. The Flyers look alright. There's not much between them. That's kind of what you want in a league with parity, isn't it? But then Babcock rustles on the bench. Oh, he's gearing up to shake things up. I'm promoting Connor Brown. Oh my god, yes, thank you. Hey, he listened to us. Hyman bats the puck out of the Leaf zone, and it looks like Shane Gostisbehere couldn't quite get to it. Connor Brown is on a breakaway again. Snipes on Michael Neuvirth. The Leafs take the lead. Get this, that's Connor Brown's 12th goal of the season, and I was about to say that's number 12 for number 12, but he is no longer number 12 because Marleau took number 12. Connor Brown is 28. But that was Zach Hyman's 16th assist of the season. 16 plus 12 is how much? So the bad news is the Leafs are only allowed to score on Connor Brown breakaways. The good news is Connor Brown is going to be getting a lot more ice time because he's up on the top line. Connor Brown's on the top line. I just see here, Zach Hyman's up there. Okay, Austin Matthews is there, and then they put Connor Brown. Then oh my god, Babcock actually did the thing I thought he would do. Alright, I'm gonna promote Connor Brown. Yes! At the expense of William Nylander. Oh my god, you're a cartoon of yourself! And then here's the damnedest thing. 28 seconds later, it works. William Nylander brings the puck into the Flyer zone. Puck finds its way onto Jake Gardner's stick. He fires it on, bounces off Matt Martin. Freddie Gauthier bangs in the rebound. Goat gets his first goal of the season, and the Leafs are up 2-0. 2 goals in 28 seconds. It's a beautiful thing. Hey, look, there's 28 again. Illuminati confirmed. Oh my god. So Babcock promotes Brown at the expense of Nylander, and he is rewarded with 2 goals in 28 seconds. Hockey is the dumbest sport. Easily the dumbest sport there is. What's good is bad. What's bad is good. Losses are half a win. Drew Carey should be the next commissioner of the NHL because the rules are made up and the points don't matter. But Steve, why are you getting so upset? The Leafs are up 2-0. Hey, who cares how it happens? They just need to win. All right, fair enough. Third period, the Flyers get a chance. Ooh, Freddie stopped it. Oh, that was quite the scare. And now Mitch Marner has a puck and he's taking it to safe. Mitch? Nolan Patrick is a second overall pick. Very talented player with a bright future, that's granted. But coming into this game, he had just 2 goals and 6 assists for 8 points in 35 games, which didn't really seem to make him a likely candidate to steal Mitch Marner's lunch money! Careless, embarrassing, humiliating for Mitch Marner. Freddie's completely gobsmacked, and the puck goes in. Leafs lead cut to 1. But it's okay. It's okay. Leafs just got a power play. They're gonna get it back. 4 guys charge in, the Flyers see that, puck comes out, and guess what? It's a 2-on-1 against Morgan Rielly. Valtteri Filppula has the puck. I already know he's not gonna shoot it. He's definitely gonna pass it, and Morgan Rielly should have guarded the pass a little tighter. You know why? Because the guy with Filppula on the rush was chugga. The Wayne train makes its favorite stop to the back of the Leafs net. He gets his 16th of the season. It's a tie game, just like that. We're less than 5 minutes. We're less than 4 minutes into the second period. Yada, yada, yada. We go to overtime. Matthews almost scores, but he didn't. Flyers turn back the other way, and then this happens. Flyers turn the puck up the ice. We are 11 seconds into overtime, by the way, but Nylander is right with his man, hasn't even lost a step, and Gardner's got the puck carrier. Then before the Flyers blue line, only 1 second has passed, by the way, Nylander decides, I don't like the guy that I'm actually keeping pace with. I'm gonna go chase after the puck carrier. And Gardner sees this situation. He's like, what? Then once everyone passes the Flyers blue line, only 1 second has passed again. Gardner is at the red line. He seems to see what's going on. It's still okay. Play is at the Leafs blue line. Only a second has passed. The situation looks a lot less ideal. Nylander leaving his man has basically turned this into a 2-on-1. And then honestly, I don't even know what happened here. Gardner decides, I'm gonna play the puck carrier. And Nylander's like, I'm gonna try that too. And they try this ridiculous drawbridge play with their sticks. Pass obviously makes it through to Sean Couturier, who obviously scored, and that whole brain fart of a sequence lasted only 5 or 6 seconds, and it cost the Leafs the game. This play to me, or more specifically the reaction to it, is why I don't feel that insecure about having not hashtag played the game. Because what I've been told, what I've always been told, is on a 2-on-1, the defender takes away the pass. Twice in this game the Leafs opted not to do it. It was Morgan Rielly on the first one, and twice it cost them. And I asked my friends who play hockey, I'm like, that's how it's supposed to be, right? And they all go, yeah. And then I see analysts, people with like hundreds of pro games under their belt, NHL games under their belt, going, yeah. But then I'm seeing other people, again, former pros, or at least former major junior players, who are like, no, that is not what you do at all. That's not what you're taught from, like, that's Hockey 101. Basically, I saw a lot of people giving their own version of Hockey 101, and none of them seem to agree with each other, which makes it sound like it's not Hockey 101. Based on what I've heard and what I've seen, Gardner should have taken away the pass. And I have no idea what Hockey 101 has to say about this, but logically, in the Flyer zone, Nylander should have just stuck with his man, and then Gardner would have had the puck carrier. Easy peasy. Which is why, in a just raging forest fire of angry takes last night, this one stood out. I think it's possible that A, Nylander should have stayed with Couturier, B, Gardner should have recognized that Nylander chose to chase the puck handler, then take away the pass to Couturier, C, our anger shouldn't be directed at one play from 3-on-3 hockey. Thank you, Ian, I agree. Gardner, Nylander, Gardner, Nylander, Gardner, Nylander, how about they were both dumb on this play? For crying out loud, what reason does Babcock have to believe that he's wrong? Komarov starting overtime, what are you doing, Mike? Alright, fine, I won't do that. Leafs make several dumb decisions and then lose the game in like 15 seconds. I've had sneezing fits that lasted longer than the Leafs in this overtime. And I'm pissed off because the Leafs lost again. They blew a third period lead again. And I'm starting to know that these are the Leafs I've come to know and love and hate my entire life again. But I've had some time to think about it. Let's look at this game. Let's look at the Leafs' last few games. The Leafs didn't look spectacular in this one, but they looked fine. And they definitely looked like they should have won the game. I mean, they were up 2-0, weren't they? Freddie had to bail them out a few times, granted. But Neuwirth was incredible. Robbing Brown just point blank. Robbing Marlowe point blank. Like, Nazem Kadri's not allowed to ever get a point again. That whole line is not allowed to ever score. But the Marner giveaway, fart. The decision making from everybody on the shorty, fart. And the overtime winner, that's at least a couple farts. The Blues game wasn't their best game, but they had the lead. Soft and outnumbered on the game-tying goal. Poor effort on the OT winner. The game against the Sens, the second last goal was a terrible giveaway by Borgman, followed by kind of a lucky bounce, followed by a bad decision to pinch that led to a 3-on-1. The game-tying goal against Columbus was a ridiculous decision while they had a lead with less than 3 minutes left. But even the game against Tampa, where the Leafs got shut out, but I think we can all agree they looked good, out-hustled behind the net on the first one, overwhelmed on the second one. And the Leafs beat the Sharks, then the Canucks in the shootout, and the Canucks game was a huge comeback. Maybe leaving the Tampa Bay game out of it, the Leafs could have won 6 out of the 7 games that they have played in 2018. They've gotten points in 3 of the last 4 and 5 of the last 6. Not counting the overtime period, here's how many goals the Leafs have allowed in regulation in 2018. 2 against Philly, 1 against St. Louis, 4 against Ottawa, that was bad, 2 against Columbus, 2 against Vancouver, 2 against the Sharks, and 2 against Tampa. We're all yelling and screaming about Mike Babcock, but he's supposedly trying to drive this idea of defense into their heads. Honestly, it looks like it's working. But it's at the expense of offense, you might say. Well, yeah, that's true. But what's been killing the Leafs is brain farts. And to me, it just looks like a team that is in their own head. Again. And yet, the again part is what makes me feel good. This happened last year. They had a game, ironically, against the Flyers, where the Leafs, I want to say, had a 3-0 lead. Flyers crawled back, but lost the game 3-2. Leafs won. I think they had a game against the Stars by the exact same score. They're up 3-0, Stars crawl back, and they lost that game 3-1 or 4-2 or whatever it was. What the Leafs need to do is just give a 60-minute effort, or when necessary, 65, and just not be in their own head. Look, you're good. I'll use Mitch Marner as an example. He was awful in this game. And of course, the big giveaway on the first goal, but he's doing more of what I said in the last video, which is just trying crap. They gotta split that line up. Look, I'm annoyed with Babcock too, and some of his decisions and being stubborn. But at the end of the day, he's the coach, and he's basically gonna be forever. Listen to him. Everyone was complaining about that chip and chase style. They've sort of gotten away from that, have you noticed? But there were a bunch of situations as of late where the Leafs would have benefited from being a little more boring. There are numbers you could look at that suggest the sky is falling. But I genuinely mean this. I see a team that could have won 6 out of the last 7 if they just allowed themselves to. Flyers fans, if I were you, I would feel whole. I would feel complete. Because this isn't the greatest comparable, but one thing the Leafs have done really well over the past couple years is reconnect with some of their older players, because unfortunately previous regimes really alienated a lot of the Leafs alumni. And the biggest omission from Leafs history for the longest time was Dave Keon. Wouldn't even talk to the team, wouldn't make an appearance. Now, he's all over the place. Because Brendan Shanahan said, please come back, we'll give you a statue, dude! And if I were you, I'd feel so happy for finally getting some closure in this whole Eric Lindros thing, because I know it ended so poorly. Really cool ceremony with him waiting behind the curtain and everything. And just like, I think it was Elliot Friedman or Nick Kiprios on the Sportsnet broadcast last night, Lindros just seems so at peace, so happy. And that comment Nazem Kadri made where he said, oh, Lindros is just a big teddy bear, like, he's right. I'll put a video on the end screen here, but I actually got to play hockey with Eric Lindros, and it was one of my first hockey games ever. He was helping to raise money for Easter Seals, which is a charity up here in Canada. I don't know how far it spreads, but it's a charity that my family has benefited from personally. I know a faker when I see one. He was genuinely so happy to be helping out with the cause, so happy with the amount of money that was raised. It was a 2-day event. I was there for both days, and on both days I heard him say the dollar amount. First day he's like, hey, 300K, we're doing pretty good. And then I think the next day we managed to get it up over 400K, and he was ecstatic. You've got a treasured part of your history back, and you should feel great about that. At least that's how I would feel if I were you. Another thing about Lindros, the guy's only 44. In February he'll be 45. This guy's relatively young. He's still got a lot of energy. He could become such a key part of the Flyers. I don't know if that's management or as an ambassador or with more charity things. I don't know. But the beauty is the sky is the limit. There's so many options. So, on that Zen note, Leafs, you're playing the Sens on Saturday. Last time you played the Sens, you blew it! But the Toronto Maple Leafs are a better hockey team than the Ottawa Senators. Remember that, act like it, and play like it. Even if the Leafs don't have Morgan Rielly, which, by the way, the reason I haven't mentioned it in this video is we haven't gotten an update on it yet at the time I'm shooting this. You should be able to beat them. All you gotta do is allow yourself to go out and do it. So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Don't forget to click the link down below if you're interested in that NHL 18 tournament, which I think you should be. Hashtag Snyder NHL 18. And there's a bunch of stuff around my head. You can click it if you want. I don't care what you do, as long as you don't blow a 2-goal lead.